لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello, everyone. I thought you were late for the stream, where we did start a bit later than usual. That's like half an hour later. Anyways, hello, everyone. Entertainment company, Hololive. Anyways, how are you all doing? Did you miss me? Yesterday was the first day. It was the first day I skipped a day of streaming. You know, I've been streaming non-stop every single day since debut for like 4 years. 4 years? What 4 years? 4 months. Imagine I did that for 4 years. 4 months, and yesterday I just, you know, exhausted myself. Did 2 streams in a row while I also had work and stuff, and I never got to sleep and everything. So I took the day off. Now I feel better. Now I'm back. Probably gonna take way more day offs now, because I learned how good the day off is, man. Oh, day offs are great. You were waiting for the stream? I already tweeted about it, though. I tweeted that I couldn't make it. This is the problem. People who don't check the Twitter, the only way for me to actually say anything. Anyways. I should take more day offs. Yeah, I know. I didn't realize they were so good. I shall take them from now on. Anyways. Let's talk for a bit until it's 10 minutes into the stream. This is my way of waiting for those who are trying to make it. But then we're gonna start. Oh, how are you guys doing? I repeated the intro ayat for like 3 times, hoping someone would notice what surah was it. The last two times we did it, last 3 times we did it, no one can get the only one person got what surah was it. So this one is obvious. I made it very easy. So does anyone know what surah was it? Baqarah. Yes, correct. It was Al-Baqarah. The ending of Al-Baqarah. What? Can't speak. How do I say specifically? Okay, I just said it. You want my candles? Candies. Listen, kid, I don't give candies. The one who gives candies and leads you to his van, that's another kind of man. That's not me. I'm not. It was not only one ayah, it was, you know, all 3 of them. But yeah, it was from 284 to 8286. Yes. 3 last verse, yeah. Can I have candies? Stop asking me for candy, chat. What? Does it say like on my face that I'm the candy man? No, I can't give you candy. All my candy is being stolen by Luna anyways. Every time I buy something, she's like, hey, can I have it? What do you mean, can I have it? Chat, every time I go to the grocery to like get myself some juice, get myself some candy, anytime, it always get halved. If I have 2 juices, one of them is gone. If I have 1 juice, it's gone. I always have to buy 2, otherwise one of them will go away. Anyways, that's about enough time for waiting for people. Let's get into it. Last time we talked about the Prophet before the prophecy, specifically when he was very young of age. And then today we'll talk about, you know, the same things as the stream title says. Also the Prophet before the what would you call it? The before he was blessed with the prophethood, before he became a prophet. Okay? Can you do a recap? I'm doing it. That's what I'm saying right now. Right? We talked about how not only he was born an orphan without a dad, his mom died when he was 6. His grandfather, the one who took care of him very well, died when he was 8. And we talked about how he went around with his uncle, who really, really loved him so much. And in his early youth, this is something new we haven't mentioned yet. In his early youth, specifically when he was 15 years old, there happened a lot of wars in Makkah. There were a lot of wars between the tribes, and well, let's just say even the Prophet at a young age was included in them. You know, Harb al-Fujjar they were called, right? It's not a very good name, but the only thing he could have done, or like the only thing he used to do during that fight, even though it's not exactly a righteous one, it's just jealousy between two tribes killing each other. So much bloodshed in Mecca, even though that's not something you should do when it's a holy city, right? The only thing that the Prophet used to do when he was 15 years old was just, pick up the arrows of the enemy as when they fall down, and then just give them to his uncles who were fighting, because his uncles were the heads of Quraysh, one of the tribes taking these war. But that's not something we should dive into it. The thing that is important was after this war, after the conclusion of these wars, there happened a peace treaty, or it's called Hilf Al-Fudul. In English should be something like the Al-Fudul Confederacy. It was some sort of an alliance, okay? And the idea of it was that no matter who, right? No matter who it is, weak or strong, like related to the head tribes or not, an outsider or not, the people of Mecca shall always strive for justice. Okay? They should always approve. I approve justice, Simply because the reason why, even though they lived in times where everyone was very ignorant. We already talked about how ignorant these people were. They used to worship statues. They used to, should we talk about the horrible things they used to do? I'll give you an example. Back then, in Al-Jahiliyyah, we referred to it, before Islam was a thing, every time a woman, or like let's just say the wife of someone, gives birth to a girl, they would bury the girl alive. All right, let's explain why they do that, even though it's stupid and it's not actually an explanation. This was called wa'd al-maw'uda, as in like the girl who got buried alive. Of course, she's a baby. She has no fault other than being born a girl. It's because back then, only the man could carry the you sound very happy, even though I'm talking about something depressing. Anyways, only the man could carry the blood of the family and the name of his fathers, right? Only the man could do it. Unlike some other countries in modern world, the last name can't change, freely. You can't take your wife's last name. Back then, it only used to be, when you get a child, they will only be named after their father. So if you get a girl, and that girl marries another man, her children, your grandchildren, won't be referred to you. Let's try to make it easier for people who can't, grasp this. Because I think some of you are confused, because they're very, no one really does that anymore. It's like, let's say my name is Amika. Amika, the son of, okay, no, Amika, I got married, I don't know how, probably it was some sort of a miracle, but I got married and I had a daughter, right? The daughter's name is, what do we call her? Marwa, the daughter of Amika, okay? Marwa, the daughter of Amika. And since you know, the name is the daughter of Amika, every time someone refers to her, they would know that she's my daughter. But when she gets married to another dude, her children will be named what? They will be named, let's say she gets a child and her name is Luna, let's just say, for the sake of it. Just like my niece Luna, right? This Luna will be named Luna, the daughter of whoever the husband's name, not me. I mean, it won't be referred to Marwa herself, and eventually it won't connect to me, right? So, like, do you guys get what I'm trying to say? I hope it's not that confusing, but it's that it feels like my roots, my legacy got cut off, right? No one will remember me because I got a girl as my child. She just got married to someone else, and then that person took over, you know, the name of the family. But me, no one remembers me. Grandma Amika will die alone. No one remembers. That's how they thought back then, right? Bin or Ibnu, same thing, right? Both have the same meaning. And it's just stupid, yes. And just like kingdom, I don't know who you mean kingdom, but the idea is that not only was it because of that, they also feared disgrace. And what do you mean by disgrace? It's because that there used to be bandits. You know, if you saw an anime sometimes when people are traveling in their carriage, you know, with the horses and stuff, sometimes they get attacked by bandits or something, right? And they kill them and take their money. And what bandits always did was that not only steal the money and kill the men, they would, you know, let the women live. And of course, why? Because they wanted to sell the women as slaves, as servants. And for your own, you know, for someone related to you as, you know, a powerful Quraysh person, if your own daughter gets sold off as a slave, your face will have you'll be full of shame and all that. You know, that's what they think, right? And because of that, they would rather kill that daughter. You know, I'd rather bury her alive and kill her rather than her growing up and being sold off as a slave one day, or maybe I like how you guys have no interest in the original story and you're just talking about naming. Anyways, the Jahiliyyah did a lot more than that. A lot of things that made no sense because of stupid reasons like that. And despite that, despite being, how can they have offspring? So many. Yes, that's the idea. You also might think of that as well. You might think, wait, if they're gonna kill every daughter that... I'm glad someone's listening. Thank you, Mary, for listening and actually asking a good question, other than the people talking about stupid shit, right? The reason why they haven't gone extinct, right, and everyone died and no one got, you know, girls to marry anymore, is because the ones who did that are only the tribes in power, only powerful people. Think of it as if the king gets a daughter, he would kill her, or like if the prince does that, or if the, you know, the big boys, the big, you know, tribes, only those do it. Other people, no, they don't actually do that, right? But the fact that it did actually exist and a lot of people did it is still depressing, right? That's how, I mean, then again, even, you know, because in war only males went to war, even males got killed a lot, and eventually things balanced out for them. I mean, if you ask me, I'd rather people like this go extinct, but I can't really say that because a lot of these people eventually became Muslims and became like people of honor and people of, you know, of great stories that we still cherish to this day, right? So, let's not talk about the death of Hamza, okay? Let's not talk about that. It's a sad story. I don't like it. I mean, it's man. I despise the death of Hamza. Man, it makes me sad, so sad. But this is not the time. Back to the original question or the original idea. Even though this were the kind of people they are, right? The people who would kill their own daughters because of stupid reasons, the people who would worship statues and, you know, give them food and pretend that the statues will eat the food and all that. All that and that, they still came up with this Fudul confederacy, or like the alliance of Fudul, of Al-Fudul, which you could translate it to Hilf al-Fudul, something you could translate it into something like I don't know how you even, I mean, they wrote it Fudul in the book, so I guess you don't need to translate it. But it's basically an alliance that was made for Mecca to suppress violence and injustice, right? The rights of the weaks would be restored. The people who are not, you know, related to the big tribes wouldn't be discriminated against. And the Prophet, when he became a prophet, talked about this, and he said, I witnessed a confederacy in the house of Abdullah bin Jabran, and it was more appealing to me than herds of cattle. Meaning, like, even if, you know, if he was giving a lot of money, herds of cattle, you could just translate it that like to a lot of money, right? A lot of cows, a lot of, you know, because that was more of the ways to refer to currency back then. If you had a lot of sheep, if you had a lot of camels, that meant you're rich, right? Even now, the Prophet continues, says, even now in the period of Islam, I would respond positively to attending such a meeting if I were invited. What do we understand from this? It means that even though some people can be beyond evil, that's the Jahiliyyah people at the very beginning of before Islam was even a thing. They were evil, they were stupid, they were ignorant, all kinds of things, right? Wrong about them. They still could come up with an alliance that even the Prophet himself said it was an amazing thing, and said he would attend another one if there was a similar, right, meeting to make another alliance like that. You know, this just teaches us that we shouldn't be some kind of people who are like, oh my God, this infidel, he said he wants to solve global warming. Ha! Allah, I will solve global warming. I don't need infidels' help. No, this is an idiotic way of thinking. This is the way of thinking that makes people think, oh my God, Muslims are so insufferable. I hate Muslims. Why do they talk like that? Why are they always screaming and making some weird gestures? And then just getting, oh, halal, bro, halal, ha, 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 ha. That's haram, bro, ha, ha, ha. Fetch me some, whatever. Right? Some people take it to the very extreme, especially with the hatred of anyone who's not a Muslim. Even though we were taught in Quran that you're only supposed to be, you know, hating on those who hated you first, those who opposed you first. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. Which translate, Allah does not tell you stay away from those, or like to not befriend those who don't harm you, even if they're not a Muslim. It's okay to have non-Muslim friends, more like have them. Allah says have them, befriend them, be nice to them, show them what Islam taught you. That's Surah Al-Mumtahina, right? Show them what Islam taught you, so that eventually their hearts will be warm and they will feel like, wow, I want to be a Muslim as well. I want to learn how to be a good person. right? Allah only tells you to fight those who fight you first. Those who say, oh, those Muslims are terrorists, let's go kill them and like kick all of them. Those who you should go and like fight back and tell them, you know, that they are a bunch of idiots and racist bastards, right? Those are the ones you're supposed to be toxic against. Anyways, the alliance, the reason it was made, it was because what was it? Yeah, there was a man, right, who came as a merchant to Mecca, right? He was just a merchant, a normal merchant who came over to Mecca. That was way before. Again, I keep reminding you guys, this is before Islam. Muslims weren't even a thing. Islam didn't exist at the time. And in the times of Jahiliyyah, a merchant came over to Mecca to sell some, you know, comedies and stuff, and especially to someone named As-Sahmi, right? And the problem was that that guy tried his best to just finesse him. You know, chat, you know, when he's trying to get finessed, he avoided paying, just like avoiding child support, right? So he basically scammed the merchant, took his goods, but they didn't pay him, right? The salesman, what did he do? Like the merchant who just got scammed, he went to like a different clans in Quraysh, asking them, you know, those people in power, yo, help out. This guy scammed me, bro. I thought Mecca was a holy place. I thought you guys were the best of the best. What is this? I come here to do some business and you scam me, right? And the problem was, you know, Quraysh was just as bad. Like a lot of them, Abu Lahab and Abu Jahl, all these people were basically the heads of Quraysh, and they just, you know, they paid him no mind. They just pretended not to listen. Even though he tried so hard, they just ignored him. And then he went to a mountain, climbed on top of the mountain, and started screaming at the top of his voice, right? And start saying, you know, how I got scammed like this and like that, this injustice, this thing, this, that, right? Like he started complaining very loudly, like in the middle of Mecca, until Az-Zubayr bin Abdul Muttalib, the Prophet's uncle, one of the Prophet's uncles, heard him. And of course, the moment you should hear Abdul Muttalib, you should always know that, you know, this is the Prophet's grandfather. This is the only Abdul Muttalib we'll always mention. So every time you hear me say Abdul Muttalib, you'll be like, oh, wait, his name is Az-Zubayr ibn Abdul Muttalib. Ibn means son, so he's the son of Abdul Muttalib. Oh, so that's the Prophet's uncle, right? I mean, he couldn't be the Prophet's dad, because the Prophet's dad already died before even he was born, okay? And the Zubayr, when he heard of him, he asked, he's like, what's happening? Why is this man screaming? What happened? Tell me more about this. And then, after he heard about all of this, be right back. Someone's knocking the door. Be right back, chat. Okay, I'm back. So, where was I? Yes. So, after the Prophet's uncle asked and knew about what happened, he forced that guy, the guy who was trying to finesse, trying to avoid these payments, right? To go on the new Yeezys. He forced him to pay back all the money, right? That he's supposed to be paying. And because of that, because of this thing coming to light, the good people realized, the good people of the leading tribes, that this is not acceptable, right? This is wrong. This is wrong. That child, the little girl who says, "This is wrong." Sorry, I like memes too much. Anyways, and they decided to create the alliance of Al-Fudul, the Fudul Confederacy, to stop things like this from happening. Okay? All right, now we kind of went a little bit sidetracked, but let's go back to the Prophet. The Prophet now is 20, in his, early youth, let's just say. And during his early youth, he worked as a shepherd, which is an important thing, by the way, because the Prophet Muhammad said himself in a hadith, "Ma min nabiyyin illa wara'a al-ghanam," which translates to, there hasn't been a prophet that hasn't, done the job of being a shepherd. Moses was a shepherd. Jesus was a shepherd. Ibrahim was a shepherd. They all did it, right? Even for, if it's a long period of time, they all did it before. And honestly, I tried being around sheep before. It's very interesting, let's just say. Very smelly as well. But yeah, that was one of his earliest jobs. And then at the age of 25, when he turned 25, there has been rumors about, let's not call it rumors. There have been good talk about how well he grew up, right? How could Adam be a shepherd? What do you mean, how could Adam be a shepherd? What, you think sheep didn't exist back then? Of course it existed. More like, if Adam wasn't a shepherd, then who will be? Literally, who will be? If Adam wasn't a shepherd, who's gonna provide sheep and meat to the first humans? If their father didn't teach them how to do it, then how could the younger ones learn, right? And Adam, no, there will be no reason. Why? Why would there be no reason? They are in earth, and the only one who has any knowledge of everything and all the creatures was Adam, because Allah taught him everything. No one else knows anything. Do you think Earth was made as a paradise? No, Earth was not a paradise. No prophet. Oh my God. Listen, my guy. Being a shepherd doesn't translate to getting your salary on the 25th. Being a shepherd means to take care of sheep so that they can grow up healthy and breed well. You can guide them to go eat, protect them from wolves, right? Do you understand? Being a shepherd is like being a farmer. Would you be a farmer just to get paid, or do you want to be a farmer to get, vegetables and fruits so you can eat? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? They needed to eat, Of course he was a shepherd. More like he was the only one who could be a shepherd, because he was the only one who knew how to breed these things, the only one who knew what their names was. When Adam was created, God exclusively jobs. They couldn't do anything. Right. And yeah, Adam was given knowledge of everything, every animal on earth, and that's why this knowledge was passed down. It's not like the so basically every prophet took care of sheep at some point of their life. Yes, that is what we know. Every prophet has taken care of sheep at some point of their life. Anyways, let's keep going. At the age of 25, there happened an event. There was a woman, a very, very beautiful woman, although she was a little old. Well, back then, I guess, well, I'm embarrassed to say that. Let's say she was 40 years old. She was 40 years old. She was a very rich woman, a very important woman in Islam as well. And she, as a businesswoman, and yes, I know you might be like, oh, businesswoman back then. Yes, well, it's not like business used to be sitting on your laptop and wearing your suit and taking your suitcase to go to the office. No, business also existed in different forms, right? Like trying to manage what kind of goods to sell to people, trying to manage the journeys to Syria and back to Mecca, you know, the ones we talked about, رحلات الشتاء والصيف, the journeys for summer and winter that we talked about in the previous episodes, right? And the time that Khadijah, oh, I said her name. I was trying to I was trying to make it more less obvious. I mean, just hint to it. But this woman, age 40 years old, a businesswoman and a very rich woman at that as well. Her name was Khadijah bintu Khuwaylid. Khuwaylid, all right? And she had great honor. The romance story, no, that's not. The thing is, the romance depicted in like the modern day, and the true romance and the true love that people once had are very different. The sad thing is that we currently live in a world where people can't tell the difference between the two L words, right? There is an L word that's called love, and there's an L word that's called lust. And it is really sad, but a lot of people think that love is lust, and it's not. So let's show you how this love actually, the real love, started. As a businesswoman, this woman named Khadijah, she used to employ men to do her business, you know, for a certain percentage of the profit. She's very smart. She would let someone, she would give them the money to do a bunch of, you know, trading for her, right? Because she, of course, she can't be everywhere all the time. So she would employ people, and these people would gain, let's just say, a percentage, like an amount, let's say 10%, 20%, who knows how much she gave to these people for the exchange. You know, that will be their salary, the money they would gain, but trading off her money. So all they had to do was just work their asses off, you know? They wouldn't have to do anything else. They don't even need money to start working with her. She didn't demand anything other than their work from them. And the problem was, they were, you know, even though the Qurayshi people, you know, the people in Quraysh were a lot of them were trading people. Like a lot of things were made from trade from all the people who visited Mecca at the time. But the problem was that a lot of them would, you know, try to cheat. Because think of it this way, I'm pretty sure a lot of us would be tempted as well. If your boss, especially if you're not Muslim, it's something really common to happen. And Luna's crying. Anyways, if your boss gave you $1,000, you're supposed to go do trade until you get double that amount. You could, by the way, keep trading and get $3,000. And when you're supposed to, what you're supposed to do is to give all the profit back to your boss and then receive your pay, right? Which is a percentage of that final pay, of that final trade, you know, profit. But what a lot of men used to do was try and trick and lie and deceit, you know. They would hide that $1,000 in their pockets and be like, oh, I only earned $1,000. Okay, can you give me $200? Thank you, bye-bye, you know. And even though she knew that, she knew a lot of people cheated her. It's not like she could have done anything about it, right? And that was when the time she heard about Prophet Muhammad. At 25 years old, he was an amazing person. Prophet Muhammad at 25 years old was a combination of the best social attributes to ever exist in a human. Right? He had a weighty mind and like faultless insight, as in like he never spoke until he knew what he was talking about. A lot of people like, oh my God, yes, microeconomics, of course, man. I know how microeconomics works. In fact, I was, reading that book one time, blah, 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 and then speaks for like 30 minutes about something that they don't know, eventually confusing whoever asked them for advice and making them, fail whatever they were trying to do. A lot of people refuse to say the words, I don't know, even though the Prophet taught us. Man qala la a'lam. Does anyone know, by the way? What's the Islam take on saying I don't know? Does anyone know what the... Does anyone know? It's very important. No, really? You guys never heard of, Islam's take on saying I don't know? No, Allahu A'lam is also good, but saying I don't know is even better. Saying Allahu A'lam, I don't know, see. Miri, good job. See, you just used it right now. You said I don't know, and because you said I don't know, instead of pretending that you know, I'm gonna tell you what it is, right? If everyone here in the chat were trying to be, no, of course I know, man. What are you talking about? And then after I go to the next topic, none of you will know the new information because you all acted like, big heads who know everything, right? And where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, I almost forgot. Yes. Man qala la a'lam, as in who said, I don't know. I want to check the exact script. La a'lam. Yeah, man qala la a'lam faqad afta. As in like, if you don't know, you gave half the answer. Because when you're saying to someone who's actually asking you something, it's, wait, this is not a hadith, 1 second. Sahhat hadith. Where is it? Is it actually or not? Yo! I want to see the script. It's going to take a long time. We're out of time, so let's not. ليس حديث النبيين إنما هو كلام الحكماء. Oh, okay. So it's a wise saying. Yeah, it's a wise saying. But still, it was based on the Quran. ولا تقولوا لما تصف ألسنتكم الكذب هذا حلال وهذا حرام لتفتروا على الله الكذب إن الذين يفترون على الله الكذب لا يفلحون. Right? Which means Allah is telling us, God is telling us, do not say, just lie around and just say, oh yeah, this is halal. Oh yeah, this is haram. This is why I get extremely pissed off. Someone in Twitter did that and he's like, oh bro, that's haram, bro. And I was like, okay, man. Like, especially if you're someone who always says, oh, I'm a good Muslim, and blah, 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 blah. If you're a good Muslim, then you should know better. I will definitely lecture you a lot if you're someone who goes around saying, oh, haram, oh, halal, oh. It's not a good practice, right? I'll look at it. As I'm just saying it, someone, of course, comes in, say halal, brother. Anyways, and the thing is, these ayat teaches us that we're not supposed to speak out of things that we don't know. Because it's a huge sin to just say about something that this is correct and this is not, this is halal, this is haram, to just give false information, to mislead people. A lot of people leave Islam because they were misled by those who don't know anything. Right? They were misled. This is why Learn to say, I don't know. It's half the answer, right? Half of the answer is saying, I don't know. Because if you really don't know, then that person will simply ask someone else until they find the answer. And you help them find the answer by saying, I don't know, right? Instead of saying, yes, yes, do this, do that, and just like speaking out of your bummy hole. Anyways. Wait 1 second. What do you mean just shut up? What do you mean just shut up? What, so if someone asks me, hey, Amika, what's the appropriate thing to do when someone does this and this and that and according to Islam? Should I just like remain quiet and just slowly stare into their soul? What do you mean shut up? No, say I don't know so they can go and ask someone else. Anyways, back to where we were. The Prophet was known for so many good attributes. He was known for being very honest. Just stare menacingly. He was known for being honest. He was known for being trustful. A man who would, eventually be named, around the people around him. Before Islam was even a thing, as-Sadiq al-Amin. Right? Sadiq al-Amin. The honest and the truthful and the trustful. Because anyone could trust him. And they will always expect nothing but the truth of him, right? So that's why eventually, when she heard about him, kazeno wasade, this is a Japanese saying, kazeno wasa, it's like the rumors that the winds are carrying, just like she heard about him. She employed him to go to Syria and do business for her, just like the other people, and that she would give him an even higher rate, more percentage than other people. She tried to win him over so she can actually see for herself about all these rumors that she heard about him, and to make sure that that she's not being lied to. She's not just. She heard, oh my God, this is the greatest guy of all time. And then once she actually gives him all the money, she gets scammed or something like that. That would be really sad, right? So she sent her servant, or like her hireling, you could call him, Maysara. Sorry, his name was Maysara, right? And of course, the Prophet agreed to have him accompany him. And they went to Syria for trading. And when they returned, Khadijah noticed that her money was so much more than usual. Usually, I told you guys, when she sent someone, she would always get probably scammed or like a lot less. She would get less money than she would expected, right, from the goods and stuff. But not only that, the person she sent with Prophet Muhammad, well, before he was a prophet, Maysara, her servant, told her that or hireling, I don't know why it's a different word here. He told her that he's such a good person. He had good manners. He was honest. He always were deep in thought and had like a good judgment. He was sincere. He was faithful. After all that, after she heard that, she realized that, she realized that this guy is like a jewel. He's a man among men. Even though she had a lot of people asking her for marriage, she always stopped them. She disclosed why are we talking? I think I'm not. 1 second, chat. Can you guys hear Luna screaming? Please tell me you can't hear Luna screaming, because I'm getting really distracted by her screaming. 1 second. Yes, you can hear her. Really? No? Stop saying yes if you can't hear her. No, you can't. Can you guys hear? No? Yes, you can hear her screaming. Oh my God, Luna, please. You don't mind? I mind. I can't think. I'm trying to talk here. Man. Anyways, as I was saying, Luna, please. I mean, I can't be mad at her today because she's very sick. So, I mean, it makes sense for her to cry. Pray for Luna, please, chat. She's not a cat. Stop saying that. She's my niece. Anyways, so, oh my god, I really want to go check on her, but I know I can't really do anything. She's just sick and tired. يعطيك العافية. شكرا. ما تشوف شارع إن شاء الله. Anyways, the oh my god, she's screaming louder and louder. She's your niece, she's a cat then. Do I look like a cat to you? Do I look like a cat to you? Who's Luna? I've answered you for the fourth or fifth time. She's my niece. Do you know what niece means? My sister's daughter. I'll go check on her. You guys are annoying. Be right back. Oh, okay, my bad. I mean, okay, I can't control she just got a needle shot from the doctor, so she's 100% going to keep screaming. So please bear with her and bear with me complaining. How old is she? 3-year-old. Almost 3. She's gonna be 3 midway through Ramadan. I think so, right? Wasn't her? She was born in Ramadan. That's what I remember at least. She should be 3 years old soon. Anyways, nothing I can do. I really can't complain. She's sick. She's just crying because she didn't like the needle. Where was I? Right. Where was I? Okay. So we said that Khadijah, had a lot of people trying to marry her, because she was a woman, a well-known woman, both of honor, of also fame, and also was rich, right? And the problem was that she never really, took, anyone's hand. She's always refused all these people. But then after she heard she heard her own servant talk about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the things that happened and how he kept praising him and praising him and praising him. What she did was she went to her friend Nafisa, right? And she told her, please, can you this is peak cuteness, by the way. I'm just gonna say this. Of course, Khadijah is our mother, all Muslims' mother. How do I explain this? For those who don't know, the Prophet's wives are all mother-like existences for all Muslims, okay? So you shouldn't really call her cute, but I'm saying that it is how am I saying it? I want to explain this nicely. It's not like she went up to him and just like an anime, she's like, hey, marry me. No, that's not how it works. She went to her friend so that her friend would carry the message that she's interested. You get me, chat? You get what I'm trying to say? And her friend, of course, went to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and told him about, you know, Ummahat al-Muslimin, yes, and told him about it, he agreed and requested, you know, his uncles to go to Khadijah's uncles and talk on this, you know, this whole thing. And what? Oh my God. Anyways, the families talked and they got married. The marriage took place after the Prophet returned from Syria. He gave her 20 camels as dowry. Dowry, if you guys know what dowry, oh my God, Luna, stop crying, please. My heart. My heart. I'm slightly annoyed, but more worried. She's been screaming for like 10 minutes. Anyways, what was I saying? Yes, the dowry being the, you know, the money that you give to your bride, the man gives to the woman. And yes, as I've said before, money in the shape of, you know, camels and sheep also counted, and more like it felt more expensive. She was 40 years old and he was 25 years old, but she still, even though she was 40, she was considered the best woman of all of her family, from fortune to wisdom, right? And all kind of good qualities. And she is the woman that he never married another woman until she died. Does anyone know? Man, it's sad, man, but screw us, go to her. There's nothing I can do. She is just a child, had a needle shot. Of course they're gonna cry because they don't want to, you know, they didn't want the needle shot. Eventually she's gonna calm down and sleep. She's sick anyways. What am I gonna do? Just stare at her? Anyways, Khadijah radiallahu anha was the mother of all of his children other than Ibrahim. That's one. All of his children, the female girls, the girls and the boys other than Ibrahim, were from Khadijah, right? Does anyone know the children of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Who are the names of the children of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Anyone knows? Anyone knows? Anyone knows? Anyone knows? Play with her. She doesn't want to play. When Luna's crying, she doesn't want to do anything but cry. And demand that she never gets a needle again. And cry very loudly. Fatima, Zahra, yes, that's one. Fatima, everyone just knows Fatima and that's it. His sons start with Al-Qasim. That's true. Do you know why? You should always remember his first son at least. Because his name was Abu Qasim. Abu Qasim, his nickname. When a man is giving a nickname, back then, it used to be his name Abu, which means the father of Abu, and then the name of that child. So if my first son was named, let's say, what's a good boy name? If my first son was named Tsubasa, right? My name would be my nickname would be in these times Abu Tsubasa, right? Or like Tsubasa no Otosan, I guess, I don't know. The father of Tsubasa, right? And because of that, you should remember that his first child, the first son, was named Al-Qasim. Then he had daughters named Zainab, Ruqayya, Kulthum, Fatima, and Abdullah, right? Who was, you know, who also died. Man, all of the Prophet's children died at a very young age in their childhood. Ibrahim, Al-Qasim, and Abdullah. And all of his daughters as well died during his lifetime, except... Sorry, what did I say that? Yes. All his daughters died during his lifetime, except for Fatima. Fatima lived after her dad died 6 months and then died after him. all the daughters witnessed Islam and were Muslim, right? And went to Al-Medina with him. This is one of the ayat that can genuinely make me break down and cry. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين. Right? And just so that I won't actually start crying right now, this is an ayah about how the Prophet was never and will never be a father for any of us. No human alive here had the Prophet as their father because he never had any sons. All of his sons died at a young age. And the Quraysh during the times of the prophecy bullied him for it. And the word bullying is not even enough, because imagine your own son dying, right? No, all of your sons dying. And then what is your own clan, your own tribe, the people you live with, what do they say to you? They say, you're gonna die forgotten. This just means you'll never have a descendant. You will never have anyone remembering you, because you will never have a son succeeding you. This is why Surah Al-Kawthar came down. Do you know Surah Al-Kawthar, chat? The one that goes, إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ. They called him Abtar, as in the one whose has no descendants and will be forgotten in time. And because of that, to comfort him, Allah told him in these ayat that he will be given a river in Jannah, in heaven. The river, the greatest river in Jannah. The one that if you drink from it, you will never feel thirsty ever again. عسى الله أن يجعلنا مما يشرب منه. Hopefully, God will bless us with being able to drink from Al-Kawthar by the hands of Prophet Muhammad. And the ayat continues, إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ, as in those who made fun of you are the ones who will have no descendants. And that's true. None of them remain nowadays. We don't even know their names. That's how humiliating it is. They said these things to him, and now we don't even remember who they are. They were so cut off from history that we don't even know the name to whoever said these things to him. That's how worthless they are. That's the kind of punishment God can give, right? And this is all what we were talking about was very, very later on. But for now, you should know that Khadijah was a very, very great woman. In fact, does anyone know who are the greatest women in Islam? Does anyone know the greatest women in Islam? Anyone know? Anyone? Of course, one of them is Khadijah. That's why I mentioned them. Khadijah. She was marked as the greatest woman. I'm sorry, did I say Islam? That was a little slip. The greatest woman to have ever lived, not just in Islam. She was being compared to all times. Those are the greatest women of the world, the 5 ladies. You know, the 5 ladies that were known for being the greatest. Mary, the mother of Jesus, Prophet Jesus, or like Maryam. That's why I love the name Maryam, by the way. Right? Maryam, the mother of Prophet Isa, or Jesus. Khadijah, the one we just spoke about, Prophet Muhammad's wife. and Fatima, Prophet Muhammad's daughter, right? And Aisha, right? The daughter of Abu Bakr, the Prophet's best friend, and his wife as well later on, after Khadijah died. Maryam, Khadijah. Wait, what? Rabiatul Adawiyah? What's that? Someone did not mention Hawa. No, Hawa was not actually mentioned. It's not Hawa. Wow, no one actually mentioned Aisha. Oh, no one mentioned her. Wow, no one mentioned Asiya, chat. Asiya, no one knows Asiya? This is the wife of the Pharaoh, right? The one that became Moses' foster mother. The one who saved his life and took him in and raised him, right? Asiya, the Pharaoh's wife in Moses' story. No one knows who Asiya is? Come on, chat. They were... Oh well. Oh, okay, completely forgot. Okay. Al-Mashita Ba'd. Yes, Al-Mashita was also a very, very... we even talked about that during one stream. The hairdresser for the Pharaoh's daughter was a very great woman as well. We talked about her in one of the Friday streams, about her story. You can remind us again? Well, I mean, go back to go back to the Friday streams where we talked about Moses' story, because we are out of time. Remember, I know every time I'm streams like this, the longer they are, the less people want to watch them, and then they will never know what happened in the previous episode. So we'll be ending it here. I also want to go open my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in a bit. So, anyways, tomorrow we'll be talking about... Actually, before we finish, should I finish? Man, it's already been an hour. If I extend this more, people will be upset, so... All right, let's end it here. Let's end it here while it's an hour. And then tomorrow, we'll be talking about when the Prophet became a prophet, you know, when he finally became 40 years old and he became a prophet. All right? Anyways, my back just cracked so hard. All right, we'll talk about the prophethood next time, and the big stories are going to start rolling in. All of what we talked about so far was before, you know. Jibreel be like, read. You know, you think it's a joke, but when Jibreel said to him, read, it was the most terrifying thing to ever happen. This is an angel hugging you. He's not some normal thing. Let me just... Let's save it, chat. Let's save it when we come to. You guys don't understand the heaviness of the message that Prophet Muhammad was carrying. Did you know, just one quick thing before we end the stream. Did you know that when Al-Wahi, when Jibreel, you know, would give Prophet Muhammad the Quran, do you know what he does? He would literally... the spoiler, but anyways, let's end this story here. I'm not gonna mention that. I'm not gonna mention that because it's better to mention it later they're in context. But let's just say it's not easy. It's very painful. In fact, during Wahi, there was one of the Sahaba, I forgot his name for now, who was next to the Prophet, right? And when the Prophet was getting Wahi, the Prophet had, his knee resting on the other man's thigh. When the Wahi started coming down, the companion, the Sahabi, said the Prophet became so heavy. He became so heavy that he felt his thigh would split from how heavy the Prophet became while the Wahi was being revealed to him. There is also a lot of instances when he literally lost conscious when he saw Jibreel. It's not. It's beyond what we can imagine. This is an archangel with 600 wings, and one of these wings, not all of them, one of them can cover the whole sky, so you can't see the sun or the moon anymore with one wing. This is not something we can imagine. Anyways, that'll be all. See you guys later, unless you're one of the people who are gonna come to the card opening stream in a bit, maybe in like an hour or so. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, or have a good night if you go to sleep or whatever. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Sampai jumpa. Selamat tinggal. Terima kasih. كان معكم أميكا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.